I assume you were able to watch episode 9 of Daima.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, it was.
What were your immediate thoughts on the show?
Majin Ku, baby.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the big announcements. Kind of had it figured out, but it's what mixing together. And I guess be aware. It's already gonna be kind of spoilerly on
Yeah,
this episode. But they
because
used essentially what a one of the weakest Z characters, which is a Cyberman, used that as like the base for this
the
new
Cyberman.
Majin.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. I mean, who would have thought? I think it's hilarious. I always liked the Cyberman design. I don't know about you. I always thought it was cool. It kind of sucked that it's such a weak character or characters.
It was in for
But
all of
what an
what?
interesting idea. It was like one episode.
Yeah, it was in for all of one episode early on the Saiyan saga.
The one of the things always stood out to me about the Cybermen was back in Cartoon Network Orbit. They had one of the stickers that was like super ultra rare, as one of the ones that always went really high on the auction, and it was just of the Cybermen. So for some reason, I think that just like stuck with me. I always thought the design was kind of cool. It's like a demon with the brains kind of exposed, and it just looks cool with the different shades of green. But what an interesting idea! Take like one of the weakest villains ever and create a new Majin essentially, and I think it's cool. What I will say is I don't like the design.
Well, it kind of
I
looks
don't-
like Golden Frieza. It looks like they stole the
It,
design from.
it kind of does. It kind of does. It just looks weird, but still cool at the same time. What I'm wondering is, will it have multiple forms, just like Frieza or any other Dragon Ball enemy? Is it going to be a big arc? Is this going to be a big enemy arc where you got Cell that turns into like 5 different forms, you got Frieza several forms? I'm curious if the character evolves, if it's going to be like an arc, or is it going to be like a quick 3 episode and one and done?
It would be nice because this is starting to feel like it might be. I don't know if it's gonna be the overall boss to the series or maybe to whatever arc is kind of going on. But I mean, to be fair, I would like something that lasts a little bit longer than a few minutes to like 10 minutes worth of a fight. Something that actually lasts maybe a few episodes at the very least, and that
Yeah.
actually has that menacing. We've yet to see that villain that really truly feels menacing and just won't go away. Obviously, this is starting to hype up Dr. Donitsu as far as really probably being the core villain of the series, 100% where I think it's going. Because it's very obvious she's making a play to essentially take control in whatever ultimate form
Yeah.
the new Demon King essentially.
Right.
So exactly, is this Majin Cyberman or Majin Cyber, whatever what its name is? Is this really going to be that strong to where Goku and because I guess now also in the episode we had Vegeta and Piccolo finally show up,
Right.
as well as Goku shows up. Hi, bye. We can't stick
Vegeta
around.
rap out of like 5 different people in the episode.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That was hilarious. Yeah, super funny. I saw a tweet. I can't remember exactly what it said, but whatever the guy's name is that's with Piccolo, Balma, and Vegeta, the big looking.
Oh, he's essentially their guide. I don't have his name pulled up.
Anyway, I saw this tweet and it said something. This is going to be the most evil character in the series, or something like that. And I think he's like such a dumb character because he says,
Oh yeah,
dumb
because during the fight, it's like, oh, I only got to. You did that fast. I could only eat 2 chips.
Yeah, he's so stupid. It's funny though. Like I think he's supposed to be like a what do they call it? Like a comedic
Comedic relief, essentially.
yeah, comedic relief, yeah.
You kind of
He's
feel that,
fun.
but I mean,
Such a stupid character.
Goku's done that enough this episode, just kind of being a goof and like, don't worry, I slept all day. I'll stay awake and
Yeah,
passes out immediately.
I know. That's so funny. Yeah, it was a really good episode. I think I said last week was the best episode yet. But I think just because of what was revealed and what we actually saw, I feel like maybe this is the most important episode yet. Just
Yeah, I mean,
because
it
of
finally
all-
kind of brought everyone together. So Goku and them kind of have like maybe a few hour head start to Warp Sama. So realistically, when we get to wherever we're going next, the next few episodes, they'll probably finally be together. Because it doesn't look like they're going to get a ship big enough to carry all of them, but to have like 2 ships
Right.
essentially in tandem as they go to Demon World 2. Because also Demon King Goma and is it Shin, I believe, they finally found
Yeah.
out like, oh, Goku's got the Dragon Ball, so now they're kind of freaking out. Or Shin was like really freaked out because the Demon King was like all over him, like, "What's going on? What are you doing? You're useless. Get out of my face."
Yeah, and then like his head got as big as the screen.
Yeah, it's that whole animation, massive.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
That's not unreal. If you've ever had a boss yell at you, it's kind of what it feels like.
It kind of does feel like that. It's kind of realistic. I don't like that character though. I don't like him.
Goma or Shin?
Shin.
I mean, he's kind of outside of the first episode. King Goma and Shin have kind of not been non-existent as far as the plot goes. Dr. Dorinsu as well, but at least you can tell in the last 2 episodes she's actually going to have feels like a major impact on the overall story. Like she's the ultimate villain.
Right? This all happened because of him. I mean,
yeah, kind of, but it just feels like Dr. Dorinsu, she's playing behind the scenes. Like she's going to be the ultimate. The actual pain to get over.
I do believe that. Yeah, I can see that.
You know, especially with the whole Majin shit going on.
Yeah, I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, the episode kind of started off a little fun. Goku won't leave the hat on his head to disguise himself, which just kind of feels funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
He definitely is kind of acting like a. I don't think they did it intentionally, or it kind of makes sense. He's kind of a kid again. They make him act very similar to what he did in Dragon Ball. Outside of the fights, he acts like a kid. He really does.
That same thing. I was thinking. I thought the exact thing when watching the episode today. I'm like, he doesn't act like adult Goku at all.
I wonder if that's either a side effect or that was intentional with the story. Because sometimes she's like, "Oh, come on, adult Goku wouldn't be this." I'm like, I get it. He's not the smartest person there, but
he's always kind of stupid and not smart, right? Like he always
straight up. He acts like
comedic relief too. He's very serious, but also very dumb. But this feels way more like Kid Goku than it does at all.
Yeah, it kind of feels like you're going back and watching the original. Obviously. He obviously still has his memories and he knows a lot of stuff, especially in the fights. But outside of it, he just acts like he did in Dragon Ball a lot of the times.
I feel like they wanted to do Dragon Ball again. I feel Z really. I mean, like realistically, Z was not like it wasn't planned. It wasn't planned out for Dragon Ball to end up becoming this series where it's 90% about fighting and the world ending in that sort of way. It was always like. And Akira Toriyama has talked about this in interviews. He envisioned the series being an adventure series with friends and learning lessons and things along the way, because you do in Dragon Ball. Like it's you feel that like it has more
just a general
to it.
Yeah, and I mean that makes sense because the original Dragon Ball was based off the Chinese novel or whatever it's called, Journey to the West. So it had that more adventure feel, because you watch Dragon Ball and you watch they feel like very different shows. Like they're very similar.
Right. They're entirely different shows, like in every aspect. And like, I just don't think a Z was ever it was never planned out. We know that for sure, because he said it.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what kind of influences he had.
I think the influence was that Dragon Ball was a super big success and they needed to continue the series because it was so massive and so popular. It was so big in Japan. Like Dragon Ball itself was so big, and they're like, we got to do a continuation to this. And I mean, it was so big that they even went and did GT without Akira Toriyama, because they're like, this IP is too big. We're throwing money away if we don't do something.
It's too big to fail, and it immediately fails.
Yeah, we got to talk about GT sometime, because it's been a while since I watched it. One of the redeeming qualities of GT is that my favorite Super Saiyan form is from that. But I have some good memories of GT, of watching it in Japanese in the middle of the night on the Japanese channel and stuff like that, way before, like years before it came out here. It was like 2 years before it came out here. So I've got like some good memories around it. It's not a good show overall, but like it's got some redeeming qualities too.
No, and I would say you're right for the most part. It's just there's very few redeeming qualities of that show.
Very, very few, but there's a few good things that do. I mean, like Pan. I always like Pan, and I thought it was a good character and stuff like that. So